Good night. Hey everyone, tonight God is good and God is good all the time. My name is Ermin J, Spiritual Divine. I'm here to give you a little short news on tonight and plus some update. First we're gonna start with the federal judge from Louisiana. Now I talk about this last June to 7th. They was trying to they were trying to not put two districts on the new map, because if they don't put, and that was a black district, so if they wasn't put on the map, they weren't gonna be able to vote, because you have to be in a district to vote, so the court order issued reinstate Louisiana Council, meaning the state will hold the 2022 election of the district. So they included the two district on the map for blacks to vote. So that's good to hear. That's good to hear. So the federal judge had ordered lawmaker to redraw the state's six counties district to include the two in which black voters were in the majority. So now they're able to vote, and I'm glad to hear that. Because I talked about that on June the 6th, and I'm glad that came to pass. So now we have the two districts will be on the map, and they will be able to vote. So I talk about that June the 7th. So it's so good that it came to pass that they including the two districts on the map for them to vote. Thank you. Thank you very much. God is good. So now we're gonna talk about the travelers, and I did talk about this here on yesterday. So I just talk about that the shortage that they had at the airport. They had the shortage on the staff and the pilot. So the airport and the airline are both experiencing widespread staffing issues, causing big delay for traveling. I mean, it's a total mess. It's a long line, and then some of them delay and have to cancel some of their flights. I mean, it just totally got shortage for the pilot, and they got shortage for the staff. But I hope they soon work it out. Because there's have so many people need jobs. If anybody need a job at the airport, I mean, go over there and apply because they have shortage over there and they constantly need help. You know, so um, so that's the story on the travelers. Have did they canceled a lot of flights? They had to delay a lot of stuff because the shortage on staff, the shortage on pilot. So now we're gonna talk about the abortion that I also talked about yesterday. So now the abortion allowed to continue following they blocked it on bank. So it's temporary that you're allowed to avoid anything that you need to do at this moment. That's good to hear that they came to pass even though it's temporary. So now we have some good news. We have history. She used to work at McDonald's, to help support her family. But now she gonna be the first Mexican born American ever to fly to space. You know. So she received and made history as the first Mexican born American woman or one of the youngest woman ever to fly to space. You know, a lifelong dream. I mean, that was her dream, she said. That was a long life dream. And she was able to accomplish at only 25 years old. So that's amazing how she made making her dream come true. She said that's her lifetime dream. She's been dreaming of that for a long time, and she only 25 years old, and she gonna be the first Mexican woman, to fly to space. So I think that's amazing. So we did talk about update just brought to my attention today that they include the two district on the new map for the black voters to be able to vote. Because it had to be in a district to vote. So I'm glad it did come to pass that they're including the two districts on to map. So that is amazing, and I thank them so much for doing that. So now we had talked about the travelers. It has shown us the pilot, the staff. Everything is so out of overflowing at the airport. It's just so overflowing right now. So it's overflowing for pilots and staff. But I hope soon they get enough staff to start getting everything back on track. So we also talk about the abortion. That also came to pass, even though it's only temporary. So now the abortion allowed to continue following the black on ban. So they blocked the ban, for right now, temporary. So that's good to know for right now. So we also talk about the history. She's gonna be the first Mexican woman, to fly to space. I think that's so amazing. Yeah, so we have so much history going on. That's why I be preaching all the time about a lot of women in the Bible. You know, us women. I mean, you could put your mind to, look. This gonna be, and then she young. This gonna be the first woman, a Mexican woman, to fly to space. And that's what I be saying all the time. Whatever you decide you want to do as a woman, go for it. Have faith and go for it. Because you have so many women coming forward, doing a whole lot of amazing things. So this amazing that this young woman ain't number 25 years old, making her dream come true. So that's all the show news I have for you on today. Y'all have a blessed night, and I'll see you on the next video.